and there is enough evidence that we can assume that it is probably going to be pushed into 2021 as well.
So that was a fucking lie.
So Wonder Woman 1984 is definitely coming out on 25th of December. I predicted that the movie will be pushed to 2021 because COVID is not letting people watch movies. The highest grossing movie of this year has been around somewhere 400-500 million dollars, which is the lowest in the last 2 decades, I think. But I wasn't completely wrong. The movie is also coming out on HBO Max. So if you don't want to watch it in theaters, you can watch it on HBO Max. And for countries which don't have HBO Max, like India, the movie is coming out 10 days earlier. So the movie will come out on 15th of December so that you can go and watch it if there are theaters open near you. India is opening its theaters in quite a few places. Even Tenant is coming back to India on 4th of December because they haven't been able to make enough money, which was obvious. There are so many subscription services in the market that they need to do something special to stand out. Apple is doing that with Martin Scorsese and his new movie. Netflix has been doing this for almost 5 years. It's pretty obvious what they are trying to do here. Release the movie in the theaters and make as much money as they can. Second, release the movie on HBO Max, and the subscribers that they gain, they will pay off in the long term. So it's a pretty good plan. Now, one thing to note is, will Disney also join this? Black Widow was pushed to 2021 because now it seems like there's a high chance that Disney might bring Black Widow to Disney Plus. And they have enough numbers. HBO Max right now has 8 million users. Disney Plus has 73 million users. They've already moved 3 of their movies that were supposed to release in theaters to Disney Plus. Those being Cruella, Peter Pan, and Pinocchio. Now, those are shitty live action remakes, but Black Widow going to Disney Plus will be a huge move. So basically, we might see Black Widow sooner than we expected if Disney decides to put it on Disney Plus. That was actually the biggest story this week, but we have so many teeny tiny stories that we will cover right now. The Last of Us show has been greenlit at HBO. Now, when are we going to see this show? No idea. But it has been greenlit. So there's a pretty good chance that we are definitely seeing this. The original writers are also consulting HBO on the show. And Naughty Dog games are some of the few games that can work properly as a movie or TV show. We are also getting the Uncharted movie with Tom Holland. So we can look forward to this. Also, it's by the creators from Chernobyl. So this is definitely the kind of topic they can do justice to. Let's just wait for the casting to see if they are going to mess this up or not. Deadpool 3 has officially been confirmed and it's still R-rated. They have hired the writers whose names I can't pronounce, but they wrote for Bob's Burgers, so definitely good writers. Now we just have to wait 1-2 years for the trailer, but still R-rated is a good thing. Black Panther 2 will start shooting in July 2021, and the studio has confirmed that they will not be bringing back Chadwick Boseman using CGI or any other tricks. So we can rest easy because that would have been incredibly distasteful. We'll have to see what they do with the story, but that's all the information that we have as of now. Now, do you like Tarantino? Of course you do. You're not a heathen. Well, lucky for you, Tarantino has signed a deal with HarperCollins to write 2 novels. The first one is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the novel. He's going to expand the story. Now, this is not a script in the form of a novel. This is a completely new novel which will have the story from the movie and some background as well as what they did after the movie. So basically a complete novel. Now, the second book, that's even more exciting. It will be about a deep dive into the movies of the 1970s. A rich mix of essays, reviews, personal writings, and tantalizing what ifs. We are living in a weird time. Directors are becoming novel writers are becoming dumbasses, and I definitely need more of the first kind. We also have the first official trailer for One Night in Miami. Now, this movie, without a doubt, is one of the most anticipated movies of 2020, which is technically coming out in 2021.
You brothers, you could move mountains without lifting a finger.
Basically, the movie is a fictionalized meeting between Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, and Sam Cooke. These 4 are some of the most influential people of the Black Power movement of the 1970s. And the movie is just a fictionalized account of one meeting where the four of them sit together and talk about their different opinions on how to achieve the same thing. Basically, they want to achieve the same goal, no more racism in America, but how to go about that. How do you fight racism? Also, the movie is directed by Regina King. It's her first movie as a director, and it's already being considered for the Oscars. First movie for the Oscars. That's like the dream of every director, and she is finally on the verge of achieving it. So good for her, and I definitely want to see this movie as soon as possible. You can look forward to it on 15th of January on Amazon Prime.
This ain't about civil rights. Welcome to America. They ain't giving black people what they really want.
What's that?
Hey, I was made in America. That's why I'm out here saving America.
Power.
Black power.
I like the sound of that.
I wish I lived in America.
We have to be there for each other.
Heard everybody rich. All I gotta do is run, jump, kick. I'm a hit in your area. I done made it to America. I'm amazed at America. Welcome to America.
Okay, so this week we have not one, not two, but three wholesome stories. So let's talk about them. The first is that we are getting a new Tom and Jerry movie. The main point is it doesn't look shit. The trailer was pretty decent. Now, the 2D animation with the live action might not work for a lot of people. The chemistry between Tom and Jerry was still there. So I have high hopes for this movie, and hopefully it won't disappoint. In the second wholesome story, we are getting a Pink Panther movie. Now, this movie is also going to be 2D animation plus live action, but it might work really well with this movie. We are also definitely getting the actual Pink Panther, the funny one. So, another wholesome story. And for the last wholesome story, Hilda is getting season 2. Now, most of you might not know what Hilda is. Hilda is one of the most wholesome shows on Netflix right now. And we need a lot more of those. Hilda is an animated series that has been adapted from a children's book. So, pretty wholesome, pretty good. Must watch. Moving on.
Wow, this is amazing. There's a great big world out there. There's so much we've never seen. Whoa, so much we don't know. Such is the life of an adventurer.
Now let's talk about the shows that have confirmed to have another season of this series. You is getting a third season. Jack Ryan is also getting a third season. The Expanse is getting a sixth season, but that's going to be its last season. So there's that. And Spike Lee, being Spike Lee, is making a musical about Viagra. Don't know why, don't care why. I just need to see a musical about Viagra. Apparently, he was inspired by an article in Esquire called All Rise, and whoever came up with that title needs a raise. No pun intended. The article is about how two guys created a $3 billion per year industry using Viagra. So definitely a good read and probably a good musical as well. And in the biggest please don't do this news, we have the casting for the live action Cowboy Bebop remake, and please don't do this. Never works, never has worked, probably will never work. So please don't butcher that franchise. Moving on. If you ever wanted to download anime wallpapers, you are in luck. Studio Ghibli is putting out official HD wallpapers from the movies on their site. And they have almost all their movies. Those are some good looking wallpapers. So if you need some new wallpapers, do check that out. I'll link them down below. We also have the first trailer for Godfather 3 Director's Cut, and it is now called Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone, which was originally supposed to be the real title. The Godfather movies were always meant to be a duology, with the third part serving as an epilogue of the story. But studios being studios, they forced Francis Ford Coppola to change the title to Godfather 3, supposedly to earn more money, but who knows. So definitely check that trailer out if you're interested in the Godfather franchise.
In musical terms, a coda is sort of like an epilogue. It's a summing up, and that's what we intended the movie to be. You'll see a film which has a different beginning, has a different ending.
It's not personal, Godfather. It's only business.
Many scenes throughout have been repositioned, and the picture has been given, I think, a new life, which does in fact act as an illumination of what the two films meant.
Friends, our business together is done.
So here is The Godfather, Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone.
And in my favorite news this week, did you know that Nicolas Cage is making a movie about himself? And he's going to recreate almost all of his iconic roles. And can you guess what the title of the movie is? The movie is called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Contra, I couldn't think of a more horrible job if I wanted to. And you have to do it.